Women look at men through the lens of power, whilst men look at women through the lens of beauty. Men are always searching for two things in this life: truth and beauty. Truth gives a man competency, so truth allows him to navigate the world, whilst beauty adds colour to his world. The man finds truth in the world and beauty in the woman. Beauty is something that is loved, admired, protected, preserved. This is the lens men look at women through. So you could call it a beauty lens. The more beautiful the woman, the more the man loves or likes her, as the woman represents beauty and we fall in love with beautiful things. However, the woman who represents beauty does not fall in love with beauty. She falls in love with power. Women see truth and beauty differently. They find both truth and beauty within themselves. I'll say that again. Women find both truth and beauty within themselves, right? This is why women serve the subjective truth, not the objective truth. Women don't typically serve God. They serve their own truth, my truth. So women find truth within themselves, within their own lived experiences, right? And women find beauty within themselves. What a lot of guys don't actually quite understand is, do you know, like, women can get themselves off by thinking about themselves and their body. You know, a lot of time when women are having an orgasm, they are thinking about themselves. You know, like, it's really interesting. You know, like, women see themselves as beauty. Women find beauty within themselves. This is the reason why women are so grandiose. They find beauty with it. Women do represent beauty, and it's a unique experience to represent beauty and find beauty within yourself. So the only thing the woman does not have is power. So men are searching for truth and beauty in this life. A man who cannot find truth and beauty is a miserable man. Women also search for truth and beauty, but they have it within themselves. Okay, so what women search for is power. These are the differences, because women are not powerful beings. The only power women has is beauty, which is a lot of power, but it's not. All right, but there are things more powerful than beauty. Okay, so the more powerful the man is, the more the woman loves or likes him. To the woman, the man represents power and independence. And women are in love with power and independence, guys.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
Okay, so as a man, we are in love with beauty. Women are in love with power. Both men and women are in love with beauty and power, but these are the main differences. Where we sit on the either sides of the spectrum, the man is really inspired and motivated by beauty. If the man is going to submit, it's going to be to beauty. And whilst the women are very motivated and inspired by power, if the woman is going to submit, it's going to be through power. Now, when you're looking at relationships through a power lens, right? So not a beauty lens. Take your beauty lens off, fellas, and put a power lens on. If you look at dealing with the opposite sex through power, then you're going to look at it through the lens of who is controlling and who is being controlled, who is dominating and who is being dominated, all right? Who is chasing and who is being chased. Does that make sense? All right. So, because when women are dealing with you as a man, they are looking at things through a power lens. So if you're like a handsome, attractive man and blah, 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 she's going to see you as more powerful than her. Her sexual attraction to you will be through a power discrepancy. Women's sexual attraction, respect, exists in a power discrepancy in the man's favor. When a woman believes herself to have more power than the man, she's not sexually attracted to you. She doesn't have respect for you. She switches into a different mode of controlling you and using you. All right, so anyway, women love to pursue men. Women have no problem chasing men. This is the reason why they use this terminology, guys. They literally chase men. Please understand what I'm saying. In the dating experiences of women, when they have a man, when they're dealing with people, they are When a woman's in love, she is actually chasing the man down. Men and women hunt in different ways. Do not for 1 second think to yourself that women do not have a desire to hunt, right? It's just that women hunt men. Men hunt resources. Men have always hunted resources. We hunt resources. We hunt resources. Women hunt men. Powerful men have never needed to hunt women. Okay? Powerful men have never needed to hunt women. Why? Well, number one, they have power. And number two, women are drawn and chase down powerful men. Women chase power, guys. Please understand this. And if you guys have ever thought to yourself, the woman don't really love me, she loves something else. Yeah. She loves power. You know, this is the reason why women are attracted to guys with strong boundaries. Well, if you can't be exploited, you might be able to accumulate a lot of power in your life. Women see men through a power lens, and women deal with men through a chasing. They're either chasing you or you're chasing them. And it is a chase, guys. When a woman is chasing you, the satisfaction she derives from it is from hunting you down. This is the reason why women choose fleeting men who are literally running away. You know, if you look at like a cat, and if or predator species, when you run away from it, it's got that drive to chase you down. That's what happens, guys. That's what happens, guys. If you want a woman to pursue you, you need to trigger her predation drive. And it's triggered by your fleetingness, your emotional unavailability. That triggers her desire to chase you down. And she wants to chase you down. This is how she derives pleasure, guys. This is how she falls in love. She is different to you. When she's chasing you down, she gets to be feminine. She gets to be seductive. She gets to use her power, you know, and she gets to see what she can do. You know, the man's competency he accumulates in life is to see, you know, how he can establish himself, how he can assert himself onto the world. Well, the woman does exactly the same thing. And she wants to see how she's able to assert herself onto men. Winning over a man who's running away. There's nothing better for her ego. There's nothing more gratifying than that. High-value men have never hunted women. They hunt other things outside in the world. There's no need to hunt these women when these women hunt you. They hunt men with power. Women don't hunt resources. They hunt the men with the resources or the men with the characteristics that... Even career women, they are looking for men who earn more money. Women hunt men with resources. Even when women have resources, they're not being biologically satisfied, right? It's very normal for a rich woman to specifically still look for a man who is richer. It's got nothing to do with logic. This is a biological drive to hunt. Just the same way the cat to the big lion. You could be best friends with this lion. You could have saved this lion. You could have drawn a nail out from the lion's paw. But if you turn your back and run, all of a sudden, it's going to chase you and it's going to pierce its teeth into your neck. It's just a biological reaction. It's compulsive because you've triggered the predator's predation drive. You know, now the lion is salivating. And that's what happens with men. That's what happens, right? So when a woman is dealing with a man who is fleeting, a man who is running away from her, she's triggered to hunt him down. And now the reason why it's a hunt is because the woman does not have the man's best interest at heart. It's a hunt for what she wants. And what does a woman want? The woman simply wants the man to psychologically submit to her and her beauty. Does that make sense? That's what the hunt is for. You know, so a man might go out into the world and hunt an animal. Why? So we can eat it. All right. So that's why it's a hunt. And I'm using that. This is the reason why women use terminology such as chasing and pursuing. Because when she is chasing a man, she's literally chasing the man. She is stalking the man. She's making inquiries, investigations, observations. She's checking his social media account. She's doing background checks. She's trying to figure out the strengths and weaknesses of the man. She's stalking you. You know, and at some point she's going to make her move. She's going to hunt you down. This is why women like men who are unobtainable, men who are vastly out of their league, men who have loads of women. You know, because it just makes the hunt that much better, right? It's a blood sport. It's something dopamine gives you. Right, so both men and women, we both get our clarity. Men get post-nut clarity. So we get our clarity earlier. We get it early. Women get their post-commitment clarity. They get it at the end. They get it late. This is one of the worst thing about being a woman is how your clarity system works. Women go on long hunts. Women are hunting guys down for years, right? Only to get what they want, and then they're done. You know, this is why it's so easy to win over young people. It's because they're barely sentient. They're so driven by their desire to hunt and their own ego that they are so easily manipulated, you know, because they're lost within their own hubris. You know, so as a man, as I said, his post-nut clarity, it's early. It's early. It happens after sex, after he gets what he wants. But a woman's post-commitment clarity, that happens after she gets what she wants. So after she gets your submission, after she gets your emotional availability, your emotional access, after she's won you over, after she's changed you, that's her hunt. You know, and then when she's done with you, she'll move on. And I'm being so serious when I say this. Your modern woman, when she dies, she would like to go to Valhalla. Not to fight in wars, but to hunt until eternity. She would happily date men until eternity, just trying to, can I win him over? Oh, he's out of my league. Can I win him over? Can I get him to change? This is your modern woman who is a serial dater. She has no interest in love whatsoever. She only has a desire to hunt. You know, so if you want to be able to win these women over, you have to give them something to hunt. So, right, so you have to understand that a woman has two modes, guys. And so if she's not chasing you, you're going to chase her. Understand what I'm saying. Most women are beautiful. They are used to attention from men. They are used to niceness from men. They are used to men wanting to prove themselves to her. So, you know, but when you don't do those things to a woman, you stand out, and in a good way, because it actually exposes. The most powerfulest thing on earth to a woman is a man who don't want her, number one. That signifies so much levels of power, right? Number two, a man who does not want an attractive, beautiful woman that all other men want, it says good things about him. It says, number one, he doesn't lust for her. Number two, he's not infatuated for her, over her. Number three, he doesn't have any agendas for her. He's not trying to manipulate her, and he's not trying to take anything away from her. So a man simply not showing high interest in a woman is enough for that to qualify him. Okay, because as I said, a man who is not emotionally invested in her is not going to harm her in any way, shape or form. This creates space for her to do her relationship bonding skills, her relationship growing skills, to be feminine, which is to center relationships and grow relationships. It gives her space to be able to do all of these things because you do not have ulterior motives for her. Most women do not meet people who don't have agendas for her. Family, friends, whoever, especially a beautiful woman, they're used to people having another reason as to why they're dealing with them. So it's a very unique situation for a woman to deal with a man who has no desire to use her for anything. So, if a woman wanted to disempower a man, she will convince him that he is powerless. If a man wants to disempower a woman, he will convince her that she isn't beautiful. In order for a man to be successful with a woman, he has to accumulate as much power as possible. In order for a woman to be successful with a man, she needs to accumulate as much beauty as possible, as these are the things that make the other submit. The reason why the modern man is failing so much with women is that the man has been manipulated into handing power over to women. This is the equivalent of a woman removing her beauty for a man. It does not make any sense. Your issues as a man with women will all go away if you begin to accumulate power and you don't hand it over to women. You are power, guys. As a man, you represent power. As a man, you represent strength or weakness, power or powerlessness, guys. Right? If you display to the woman powerlessness, then you're displaying to her your low value. You need to represent power, guys. So you need to accumulate your power and hold on to that power. The tension that is created between a man and a woman is that the woman has a desire to usurp. You're supposed to be so powerful, you can't be disempowered. You are supposed to usurp some power to women. You guys give all of your power to women. This is the issue. You guys don't know how to be nice to women. You guys don't know how to validate women. You guys don't know how to provide these experiences for women. A display of love for a woman is handing power to her, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? But it's just that you guys don't know how much power to hand over to her, and then what happens is you stop representing power. At any point, you can't stop representing power, just like your woman can't stop representing beauty. Beauty and power, when I'm talking about beauty is not just skin deep. There are other characteristics, attitudes, and a spirit that is beautiful to a man. Youth, excitement, enthusiasm, nurturing, sweetness, kindness. These are higher values in the eyes of a man for women to have. That's how a woman's beauty can extend, and obviously familiarity and closeness and intimacy. The woman can earn the man's loyalty as well. So when the man stays with a woman whose beauty is faded, it's because he's loyal to her. Like the same way one of his boys have earned his loyalty through consistent being a ride or die for this man. So he, the man will always see his woman as beautiful if she has a beautiful character. But she has to always represent beauty to this guy. And you're the same. You need to always represent power to your missus. So however you validate her and give her power, you can't ever do this in a way that will make you powerless. So you can never submit to a woman. That's the absolute form of powerlessness. You guys submit to women. You guys fall in love with women in the wrong ways. You fall in love with women in a compulsive way. You're not supposed to fall in love with women. You're supposed to rise in love with a woman. If anything, you're supposed to teach a woman love. You're not supposed to descend into. It's not love that you fall into. You fall into your unattractive, compulsive emotional states that regress you back to how you used to be with your mum. That's what happens. That's a very powerless state. Submission is literally the definition of powerlessness. If you can get a woman to submit, she's going to fall in love with you. Yes. Why? Because you've actually got her into a state of powerlessness. So that's a pretty large power discrepancy between you two, right? So as a guy, the only thing you can leverage with your women, with women, are these things. So power, independence. So if she's not chasing you, then she doesn't feel your power. A good relationship is where her beauty defers to your power. Your power can never defer to her beauty, or it will become powerless. All right, guys. So you need to see this at an individual scale. I'm talking to men, and that's the reason why I'm speaking in the ways that I'm speaking. But a lot of the things I'm saying isn't really gender specific. As I said, the majority of men do pursue women, and it's always been like that. It's just that the women pursue a small percentage of men, which are men who are powerful to them. Power is psychological. Power is perceived. And this is where game is so important. I always say to people, game trumps all. because you can create so many different illusions of power. It's perceived. The best thing about women, the hardest thing about women is their emotional unavailability, right? And just how much we desire them. That's actually the hardest thing about them in an interesting way, right? And how much they take the piss and how much they love power. That's the hardest thing about women. The best thing about women is that they're quite gullible. They're quite naive. And the woman's ego is so big. The worst thing about the woman is her ego. But the best thing about the woman is her ego, guys. So if you can learn how to use the woman's ego to get the things you want, you win. This is why game trumps all. It's all game, guys. It's all game. This is the reason why ugly brothers can get better looking girls than you, and you are good looking. This is why. Because they have this psychology thing. And you're thinking, well, he's got no money. He ain't got no status. How's this guy got so many women? Because he's got game. He's able to create perceived power in the eyes of women. You know, if a homeless person wanted to be perceived as very powerful by women, he will simply become a player. He'll simply use his game to have a lot of women. And simply because of that, women will feel his power, guys. And the women would want to leverage her beauty for his power. That's how things work. If you want help with these things, sign up for the one-on-one coaching. Let me teach you the game of how to do things. This is the reason why. If you're not good looking, if you're not tall, if you ain't got a lot of money, if you ain't got social status, then sign up for the one-on-one coaching.